Hey everybody, welcome to Javo's Garage. Today we're going to be tackling the sway bar bushings on this 2006 Chrysler Town Country. Now today's repair will work for you if you have a 2001 to 2007 either Dodge Grand Caravan or Chrysler Town Country. I'm going to go through this for you, show you step by step how to do it, the tools you'll need, and the part numbers so you'll be able to get the proper parts. This isn't a tough job to do, should take you maybe an hour or so, somewhere in there, depending on your skill level. So let's not waste any time, let's get into this project. So the first thing I want to do is just give you an idea of where you got to get to and where your bushings are located. Now we're at the front of the van right now looking towards the rear, and so we're just going to slide up underneath like so, and you'll see that let's move up, right there is your sway bar, okay, as you come straight back. Now if you follow that over here to the left, there's your first bushing there, and this is on your passenger side, and there it is located right there. And I don't know why it won't focus. There we go. And there's your sway bar bushing on your passenger side. Now that is a 15 millimeter nut, and on the other side you have a 15 millimeter head. Both of those are real easy to get to. This bushing is easy to replace. However, now if we follow our sway bar over to the driver's side, this side gets a bit more difficult because there's so many things that get in the way. And this right here is your other sway bar bushing located right here. Now off to the left, real close there, you'll see there's kind of a bracket there, right there. And that is for what's called, and I'm just gonna kind of rotate around here, that is for what's called your NVLD, which is your natural vacuum leak detection. And so we're gonna need to, what I try and do is just undo the bracket and move it off to the side. And those bolts are located right here, they're 10 millimeters. And then pull it off to the side, and that should give us enough room to be able to get in there and get a ratchet onto it. Now on the back side, and I'm going to kind of just swing this around, you have your evap canister is located right here. And then if we go up inside of there, right there is the back side of that bolt. Maybe you want to consider it the front side of that bolt, but anyway, that's also a 15 millimeter. Now you're gonna have a hard time getting a wrench in there. What I use for this is an offset wrench, makes the job go much easier. So let's get started. I like to start with the hard side first and get this wrapped up and done. So let's start with getting this one out of our way. Now that I got those bolts taken out, as you can see, I was able to move our leak detector up and out of the way. And what I did is I just used a screwdriver from the top down so it doesn't fall if I bump that, which inevitably I will as I'm working. But now that holds it up and out of the way. And let's move around to the other side a bit, and you can see how much room now that we have right there to be able to get into the bracket that holds our bushing in place. I have a 15 millimeter deep socket attached to my ratchet. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this ratchet wrench, and then once I'm done with that and get it loosened up, I will switch and go to my actual Milwaukee power wrench, and that way it just saves me some time. I have my offset 15 millimeter wrench here, and I am going to work that in on the back side. Get that on the nut, like so. And we'll go up here to the front. Now that I have that started, I can switch. And there, I believe. Get it out entirely? Nope, we got just a little bit more. And there we have it. So this here is a good angle. Now you can see your bracket. You got your bolt coming through here. All you're going to do is just push your bolt back a little bit. Try not to push it out the other side because that'll be in place when you go to put it back in. And then I'm just going to lift this up like so. and get it up out of our way. And we're going to go to the other side, get that bracket loosened up. Then the sway bar will move and we'll be able to remove this bracket, get our bushings off, put the new ones on, and put the brackets back. We're on the passenger side looking up straight from the bottom. So this here is your bracket on the passenger side, and I'm going to try and move to the back side just so you can get an idea. And there's the back side of that bolt. As you can see, you got plenty of room to get to it from this side. And so for this, you could just use a wrench, or you could keep on using your offset if you wanted to. I think that should be enough to be able to switch over to my Milwaukee. We will find out here shortly. Like so. We have, we have our nut off of there, so we can now just slide our bolt back. This side, it's easy to take your bolt off because you have easy access to both sides. So now what you'll do is you'll just take it and you'll lift up on it. It should start to cooperate here. Let's see. I may have to move the bushing out of the way in order to get it. Now, what I'll also do too, by the way, is it's easier to slide your bushings and your arm out to the side, and there we go. Now you have the room and you can take your bracket out. So you can see there's that slit up in there. So this curved piece will go up into that and then back up against the wall. So what let's do now is let's continue to move our bushing. You can see I have it here off to the side already. I'm going to just go ahead and continue to slide that out to the side, and then it's easier for me to just get to it and get it off the bar. And we'll do the same thing with the other side, and let's take a look and see what our bushings look like. We're on the driver's side. You'll see all I did was slide the bushing out into here. It's just much easier. Then you don't have to fight with it so much. I'm sorry about the shadows, but we just got a lot of parts in here that block our light. So now that's off here to the side, I can go ahead. I'm going to try and do this one-handed, but separate that bushing and slide it off of our sway bar. There we go. Let's just take a quick look here. I have my brackets and my bushings oriented as they were on the car, this side being driver, this side being passenger. And they don't look too horribly bad. They could stand to be replaced naturally. You can see they're wallowed out a bit, and that's why we were starting to get some noise over certain bumps. You can see this one here, if I open it up a little bit, it's cracked right inside there. Hopefully you can see that. But it's cracked all along that side, and we have a crack right here too that's actually pretty bad as well. So this was definitely in need to be replaced. And I'm going to go ahead and clean up my brackets as well. This here is the one that was on the passenger side, and I do see some cracking in it too. Maybe if I give you some better light, you can maybe see down inside of there. But it was definitely cracking, and it was worn down inside of there. So this will be a big improvement when we install these. Now I'm using the Moog sway bar bushings. These have always done great for me. I'll put a link down below in the description so you can get these yourself. This is a part number K7406 by Moog. And inside your packet, basically you're just going to have 2 new bushings in here. And these look much nicer than the ones that you're taking out. These are a much firmer rubber as well, so you can just get an idea in terms of comparison. They're the exact same size. They're just a better, firmer rubber, and they'll do a better job for you as well. Here's a quick tip if you want to make the job easier, by the way, when you get back underneath, because getting these open enough to slide over that sway bar can be a real pain. I have something here like a little small pry bar, and if you'll work it down inside of there and then twist it off to the side like so, what it does is it opens up your bushing. And then I have like a 16 millimeter socket, and what I'll do is I'll take it And I'll just kind of set it in there like so, and then remove my pry bar. And now it's already starting to be pried. So when I get up into the car, I can just start pushing this part over the bar. And then as I do, I can remove the socket, and it makes your job go much quicker and easier. Let me show you how to put these bushings on. Now it's important, by the way, and I think I missed doing this earlier. I got this thing dirty already. And that is to orient your bushing properly. You want this gap to be on the bottom of your sway bar, and then this flat part goes against the back, okay? So you'll see. Now that the bushings are in place and they're oriented properly, we need to go ahead and get our brackets installed. I thought I would start here on the driver's side, because this one always seems to be the hardest one to get. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for me because I'm trying to look through beyond the camera. And you'll just kind of push it up in that slot and just kind of work it in a bit. And you'll see it's starting to go in there. And then I'm going to reach and move my creeper around. We need to push that bolt back out. Sorry. So we just kind of gently have it in place. And what I'm going to try and do now is just get that nut started, so it's just kind of holding it so it doesn't fall out or come out of place. So now, sorry for my arm, I'm just going to start that nut just a little bit, just like that. So now the bracket's held in, and so is the bushing generally in place. Now let's go over to the other side. We'll set that bracket in, then we can start to tighten them down. Onto the passenger side of our bracket. Don't forget, you'll put this tab goes up into that little slit there. Sometimes things can make this difficult, but you're just going to have to work it. Hopefully my hands aren't in the way too much here. So now we have it in that upper slot. We'll just kind of lift up on our bracket or on our sway bar. And we'll just kind of push this down a bit, just like that. Now we'll go to the back side. Slide our bolt through like so. Now we'll start the nut. Now before we go to start tightening things down, and initially we just want to snug this up, and then I'll give you more specs here in a second, but you want to make sure that your bushing is centered in your bracket before you go tightening everything down. I understand initially you just kind of want to get it started, get it set in place, but before you move on, make sure everything's centered. Make sure that the slit in your bushing is on the downside and the flat side of your bushing is facing the back. Once you've snugged down the bolts there and your brackets are held in place, you want to take your torque wrench and you want to finish tightening these to 50 foot-pounds. So one of our last steps here is we need to get our bolts put back in for our power steering cooler, and then we need to go ahead and install our leak detector back in and put the bolts in on that as well. So at this point, you have your new sway bar bushings installed and your clunk should be gone from your van. If this video has been helpful for you, would you please do me a favor and just hit that like button for me? If you'd like to see more repairs on these types of vehicles and other vehicles we have, we also do go-karts and we do mini bikes and we do garage projects, all sorts of fun things. We'd love for you to stick around. Please hit that subscribe button. While I was under here working, I noticed we had some bent fans here on my power steering cooler. So as we leave this video, I'm going to take my little screwdriver here and straighten these out so it's working like it should be. Hey, thanks for watching. I appreciate it.